severe weather warnings across the eastern states, heavy rain, strong winds, flash flooding possible. That's what we're re-looking at for Sunday the 18th of January 2026. I've examined the latest from the Bureau of Meteorology, cross-referenced the Access model with the GFS and European models, and looked at the current synoptic situation. What we are seeing is a significant low-pressure system that is already affecting southeast Queensland and New South Wales, and it is not moving quickly. Right now, across North Queensland, conditions have been building all day. Temperatures hit 35 degrees at Mount Carbine this morning with 80% humidity. That is uncomfortable. Between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. last night, severe thunderstorms hammered down across far North Queensland. Heavy rainfall, lightning, the full package. Some areas copped another 2 hours of light rain after the main cells moved through. Southeast Queensland has been dealing with heat and humidity. Callanga, 30 kilometres north of Brisbane CBD, was sitting at 25 degrees at 5:45 this morning with 93% humidity. By 8 a.m, rapid development was occurring. Storm cells forming, threatening clouds building up. The atmosphere's loaded with moisture, and it's been trying to organise all morning. Brisbane S had one of the driest wet seasons on record. The Bureau keeps forecasting storms to break the heat, but they've been getting light drizzle at best. That changes today. The moisture S there, the instability S there, and the trigger mechanism is finally arriving. Townsville S seeing good thunderstorms rolling through right now. The build-up has been significant. High base storms with heavy rainfall underneath. These are proper wet season storms, not the scattered showers Brisbane S been getting. Compare that to what happened at Laidley yesterday. A severe storm ripped through without much warning from the Bureau. They had a heatwave warning out, but not a severe weather warning. The system came from the east. Cyclonic winds, trees down across Warwick, Killarney and surrounding areas. Property damage, blinds destroyed. The storm brought torrential rain, which was needed, but the wind damage was significant. That is the kind of surprise system you get when you have this much instability in the atmosphere. Darwin has been interesting. The Bureau forecast over 200 millimetres for the weekend. So far, zero rain. The monsoon trough is there, the moisture is there, but the rainfall has been patchy and unpredictable. That S typical of the build-up season in the top end. You get all the ingredients for rain, but sometimes it just doesn't come together in the right place at the right time. Let me break down what's happening meteorologically, because this isn't just scattered storms. This is a proper weather system. We've got a surface low pressure system sitting off the coast of New South Wales. Central pressure is around 1,003 hectopascals. That is quite low for this time of year in this location. The low is drawing moisture from the Coral Sea, wrapping it around and feeding it into Queensland and New South Wales. Aloft, we've got an upper level trough. That S providing the lift mechanism. When you combine surface moisture, instability from the heat and upper level dynamics, you get organised severe weather. That S what we re-seeing. The synoptic setup shows the country split down the middle. Eastern Australia is under the influence of this moisture-laden system. Western and Southern Australia are under a ridge of high pressure. That S why Perth S getting perfect weather, while Brisbane S copping severe storms. Looking at the models, the Access model has been spot on with this system. It picked up the development 72 hours out. The GFS was a bit slower with the timing, and the European model had the low pressure slightly further south. But all three models agree on the broad pattern for today and tomorrow. For Sunday the 18th, here's what you need to know state by state. New South Wales, you're in for a rough day. Sydney and the entire coastal strip from Newcastle down to the Illawarra are under severe weather warnings. Thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, 90% chance of rain and at 1 to be light drizzle. We're re-talking significant totals. 50 to 100 millimetres possible, with isolated areas potentially seeing more if storms train over the same location. Temperatures will be suppressed because of the cloud cover and rain. Expect 19 to 22 degrees across Sydney. That S fresh for January. You might need a jumper. The wind will be a concern too. Gusts up to 80 kilometres per hour with the stronger storms. If you were in low-lying areas out west, watch for flash flooding. Creeks will rise quickly with this much rain. If you had plans for the coast today, rethink them. Bondi, Manly, anywhere along the beaches will be dangerous. large swell, strong winds, poor visibility. The surf lifesavers will have their hands full. Swim between the flags if you must go in, but honestly, today is a day to stay out of the water. For drivers, the roads will be slippery. Heavy rain reduces visibility and the roads will be treacherous. Take it easy. Leave extra space between you and the car in front. If you're reflying in or out of Sydney Airport, expect delays. Wind and storms mess up the flight paths. Check your app before heading to the terminal. You don't want to be stuck there for hours. Canberra, you're getting the tail end of the system. Grey skies, scattered showers, tops around 24 degrees. Not as severe as the coast, but still a bit dreary. Queensland. Let's talk about what you're dealing with. Brisbane and southeast Queensland are in the firing line. Scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. It wants to be a total washout like Sydney. You'll see the sun poke through between cells, but don't count on it staying dry for long. Temperatures are sitting between 22 and 30 degrees. That's manageable compared to the heat you've been dealing with. But the humidity is through the roof. It is sticky and muggy before the rain breaks. After the storms move through, it'll feel fresher. But during the build-up, it's uncomfortable. The Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast, the surf's looking gnarly, big swell coming in. If you are heading to the beach, swim between the flags and listen to the lifeguards. Rips will be strong. The conditions are not for inexperienced swimmers. North Queensland, you are ahead of the curve. The storms hit you last night. Today you are dealing with the aftermath. More showers likely, but the worst has moved south. Keep an eye on the rivers if you're in low-lying areas. That heavy rain from overnight needs to go somewhere. Now let us head south and west where conditions are completely different. Melbourne, you've got a beauty of a day. Mix of sun and clouds. It should stay dry, maybe a tiny bit of rain early on, but nothing significant. Temperatures starting at 16 degrees, warming up to 28 by the Arvo. That's a ripper of a day. Perfect for the footy, a run around the tan, or just getting outside. By the afternoon, 28 degrees is ideal for heading down to St Kilda. Adelaide, hold on to your hats. You are in for a scorcher. Sunny, blue skies, not a cloud in sight, but check the thermometer, 32 to 37 degrees. That's hot. The UV will be extreme. Between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m, stay out of the sun or you will get fried. Slip, slop, slap, seek and slide. You know the drill. With that heat and the dry wind coming off the land, the fire danger in the Adelaide Hills is extreme. No bonfires, no campfires. Total fire ban conditions. Play it safe. Drink plenty of water. Make sure your pets and livestock have full water bowls. If you are doing anything outside, do it early morning or late evening. The middle of the day is too dangerous. Perth, you've got it made. Absolute mint weather. Blue skies, sunny, perfect conditions. Cool in the morning, warming up to 25 degrees. It's a cracker of a day. Head to Cottesloe, jump on the ferry to Roto to see the quokkas, grab some fish and chips in Freo. If you stay inside today, you are mad. Tasmania, you're sitting in between. Cool morning with temperatures around 10 to 12 degrees. Warming up to 18 to 20 during the day. Mix of sun and clouds. A pleasant day, nothing extreme. If you're in the alpine areas, watch for frost overnight into Monday morning. Let me talk about what S driving these massive temperature differences because it is important to understand the meteorology. We've got two air masses across the country. Over eastern Australia, we have a warm, moist tropical air mass. That S, what S feeding the storms. Dew points are in the low 20s across Brisbane and Sydney. That S tropical moisture. When you have high dew points, you have the fuel for severe thunderstorms. Over southern and western Australia, we have a dry continental air mass. That S, what S, giving Adelaide the scorching heat and Perth the perfect sunny weather. The air is dry, stable and descending under the ridge of high pressure. The clash between these two air masses is what S creating the severe weather. Along the boundary you get lift. That lift forces the moist air upward, it cools, condenses and you get storms. That S basic meteorology, but it is worth understanding because it explains why the weather is so different across the country. Looking at the upper atmosphere, the jet stream is well to the south. That S allowing the heat to build over southern Australia. But it is also providing the dynamics for the low pressure system on the east coast. The upper level divergence is helping the surface low to intensify. Now let AS talk about tonight and overnight into Monday the 19th. The low pressure system will slowly move south overnight. That means the heaviest rain will shift from southeast Queensland down into northern New South Wales. The Hunter Valley, Newcastle area, Central Coast will see increased rainfall overnight and into Monday morning. Sydney, the rain eases off overnight but doesn't clear completely. You'll wake up Monday to cloudy skies and scattered showers. The sun might not properly appear until Tuesday. Brisbane, the storms ease off late Sunday night. Monday morning will be cloudy with some showers, but nothing like what you were dealing with today. By Monday, Arvo, conditions improve. You'll see more sun. Temperatures climb back up to around 28 to 30 degrees. The humidity drops a bit as drier air moves in behind the system. Melbourne, overnight will be clear and cool. Minimum temperatures around 14 to 16 degrees. Monday, you're re-warming up. We're re-looking at 30 to 32 degrees. That's the start of a heatwave building midweek. Wednesday and Thursday could see temperatures pushing into the mid to high 30s across Melbourne and regional Victoria. Adelaide, the good news is the cool change arrives Monday. A weak front moves through from the south. That drops temperatures back to a comfortable 25 to 26 degrees. Much more manageable than the 37 you are dealing with today. The cool change arrives mid to late morning. You will feel the wind shift to the south and temperatures will drop quite quickly. Perth, same old, sunny and beautiful all week. You are sitting under that ridge of high pressure and it's not moving. Expect consistent conditions through the week. Mid to high 20s, sunny skies, light winds, perfect weather. Tasmania, Monday brings a slight warming trend. Temperatures up to 20 to 22 degrees. Still pleasant, still comfortable. A front might brush the west coast late week, bringing some showers, but that is still uncertain. Let me address the fire danger situation because it is critical, especially for South Australia. The fire danger rating for the Adelaide Hills and surrounding areas is catastrophic for today. That is the highest rating. Catastrophic means if a fire starts, it will be uncontrollable. Homes will be destroyed. Lives will be at risk. Do not light fires of any kind. No barbecues, no campfires, no burn-offs. Even a spark from machinery can start a fire in these conditions. If you live in a bushfire-prone area, and you don't have a solid plan to defend your property, today is not the day to stay and defend. Leaving early is the safest option. Many of you remember Ash Wednesday 1983. 75 people died across South Australia and Victoria. Or Black Saturday 2009. 173 deaths in Victoria. Those fires occurred in conditions similar to what Adelaide is experiencing today. I am not saying we'll see fires of that scale today, but the conditions are there. The heat, the wind, the dry vegetation, all it takes is one ignition source. If you see smoke, report it immediately, call 000, Don T, assume someone else has reported it. For New South Wales and Queensland, the fire danger is lower because of the rain and higher humidity. But once this system moves through and things dry out, you'll need to watch the fire danger ratings again. The wet summer Brisbane S been experiencing means the grass has grown. When it dries out, that becomes fuel. Let's talk about some practical preparation based on what ES happening in your area. For Sydney and New South Wales dealing with the storms and rain, Don T, wear your good shoes today. Canvas shoes, white sneakers, they all get wrecked in the mud. Think waterproof jackets, maybe even gumboots if you are heading out. If you've got pots on the balcony, check they not drowning. This much rain can waterlog plants quickly. If you in a flood-prone area and there's any risk of power outages, fill the bathtub with clean water before the worst of the storm hits. That gives you drinking water and flushing water if the supply gets cut. Simple preparation that makes a big difference. And I shouldn't have to say this, but if it's flooded, forget it. Never drive through flood water. It only takes 15 centimetres of fast-flowing water to knock a person off their feet and 60 centimetres to float a car. Brisbane and southeast Queensland, you've been waiting for this rain. The dams need it, but be smart about it. Secure loose items around the yard, outdoor furniture, trampolines, anything that can become a projectile in strong winds. These storms can produce wind gusts up to 80 or 90 kilometres per hour. Check your gutters are clear. If they reblocked and we get heavy rain, you'll have water going where it shouldn't be. Adelaide, your focus is heat and fire safety. Give your garden a good soaking tonight, Saturday night. If you wait until Sunday, that 37-degree heat will torch your vegetables before you can water them. Drink plenty of fluids, not alcohol that dehydrates you. Water, sports drinks, something with electrolytes. Check on elderly neighbours. Heat affects older people more severely. Make sure they've got air conditioning or a cool place to go. Light cotton clothing is the way to go. You want airflow, broad-brimmed hat, sunglasses, and slather on the sunscreen. If you are doing physical work outside, do it early. Before 9 a.m. or after 6 p.m, the middle of the day is too dangerous. Melbourne and Perth, you can dress in layers. It's cool when you wake up, warm at lunch and cool again in the evening. A t-shirt and a light hoodie will sort you out. Melbourne, with the warming trend into next week, you will be switching to lighter clothing by midweek. If you're re-driving from Melbourne to Adelaide today or tomorrow, watch out for sun glare in the late arvo. That low sun coming through the windscreen can be blinding. And be ready for the temperature to jump up as you cross the border into South Australia. It's quite a difference. For those flying today, particularly in and out of Sydney, Brisbane and Newcastle, monitor your flight status. Thunderstorms cause delays. Airlines will hold planes on the ground rather than risk flying through severe weather. It's frustrating, but it is the right call. Pack some snacks, bring a book, have something to do if you get stuck at the terminal. Now let me talk about the humidity because it's been a major factor, especially in Queensland. Humidity has been sitting above 90% in parts of southeast Queensland. That S, oppressive. When humidity is that high, your body can cool itself effectively through sweating. The sweat doesn't evaporate, it just sits on your skin. That assists why it feels so much worse than the temperature suggests. One viewer mentioned the barometric pressure dropped suddenly around 3 a.m. in the granite belt. That S, not unusual with these systems. Rapid pressure falls can occur ahead of severe storms. Some people with old injuries or joint problems can feel those pressure changes. It is a real phenomenon. The sudden drop in pressure causes tissues to expand slightly, and if you've got old dislocations or injuries, you will feel it. After the storms move through and the pressure rises again, that discomfort usually eases. It's one of those things where your body becomes a barometer. Not scientifically reliable, but many people experience it. The reason Brisbane S been so dry, despite all the cloud cover, comes down to storm structure. You've been getting high-based storms. The cloud bases are high up and the rain that falls evaporates before it reaches the ground. That's called virga. You see the rain streaks falling from the clouds, but nothing hits the ground. Frustrating to watch when you need the rain. Today, S storms are different. The moisture extends all the way down to the surface. Dew points are high. That means when rain falls, it reaches the ground. You're getting proper rainfall, not just virga. Looking ahead to next week beyond Monday, because I know some of you are planning ahead. Tuesday the 20th, the eastern states start to dry out. The low-pressure system finally moves offshore into the Tasman Sea. Sydney sees improving conditions, partly cloudy, maybe a shower or two, but nothing significant. Temperatures climb back to the mid-20s. Brisbane, Tuesday S looking good, mostly sunny, light winds, temperatures around 30 degrees. The humidity drops to more comfortable levels. You can finally get outside and enjoy summer weather. Melbourne, this is where it gets interesting. A heat wave builds across Victoria from Tuesday through Friday. We re-looking at 4 consecutive days above 35 degrees across much of the state. Melbourne Metro could see 38 to 40 degrees by Thursday and Friday. That's a significant heat wave. The Bureau will likely issue heat wave warnings. This is the kind of heat that affects infrastructure. Train lines can buckle. Power demand spikes as everyone runs air conditioning. If you're elderly, if you've got health conditions, if you don't have air conditioning, make plans now. Know where the local cooling centres are. Libraries, shopping centres, anywhere with air conditioning. Adelaide, after Monday, S cool change. Temperatures stay moderate through the week. Mid to high 20s. Much more comfortable. The fire danger drops as well, which is good news. Perth, no change. Consistent sunny weather, mid-20s, light winds. You are in a stable pattern and it's not shifting. The monsoon in the top end continues to be patchy. Darwin and far north Queensland will see scattered storms throughout the week. Some days wet, some days dry. That S typical of the build-up transitioning into the wet season proper. By late January, early February, the monsoon should establish itself more consistently. For those asking about cyclone activity, there is nothing immediate to worry about. The monsoon trough is active, but there is no organised cyclone development occurring right now. That could change. Cyclone season runs through to April. We're in the peak period. But as of today, no cyclones are forming or forecast to form in the next week. Let me address something I've seen in the comments and online. Some people are frustrated with forecast accuracy. They feel like the Bureau forecast rain that didn't eventuate, or they got severe weather without adequate warning. Weather forecasting is not perfect. We're re-dealing with a chaotic system. Small changes in atmospheric conditions can have big impacts on where storms form, how strong they get, and where they track. The models are good, but they're not flawless. The Bureau does the best job they can with the data available. When they issue severe weather warnings, it is because the conditions support severe weather development. Sometimes those storms, Dante, form exactly where forecast. Sometimes they stronger or weaker than expected. That's the nature of meteorology. What you can do is stay informed. Check the Bureau S website regularly. Look at the radar. Understand the warnings and what they mean. A severe thunderstorm warning means conditions are favourable for severe storms. It doesn't guarantee every suburb will be hit. It means be prepared. And if you are in an area that doesn't get the forecast rain, I understand the frustration, especially if you are a farmer or you've got a garden struggling in the heat. But Dante assumed the forecast was wrong just because your specific location didn't get rain. Weather is incredibly localised. One suburb can get hammered while the next suburb stays dry. That's just how thunderstorms work. For the blokes out there managing livestock and properties, particularly in the heat across South Australia and parts of Victoria, make sure your animals have access to shade and water. Cattle and sheep can suffer heat stress quickly in these conditions. If you've got them in paddocks without shade, consider moving them to areas with tree cover. Check water troughs are full and working. When it's this hot, animals drink more. A trough that is normally adequate might not be enough. And watch for signs of heat stress, heavy breathing, drooling, lethargy. If you see that, you need to cool them down. Move them to shade, provide water, and if it's serious, call a vet. For those with gardens, especially in Adelaide and Perth where it's been dry, water in the evening or early morning. Watering in the heat of the day wastes water through evaporation. Evening watering gives the plants all night to absorb moisture before the heat hits again. Mulch is your friend. A good layer of mulch around plants reduces evaporation from the soil and keeps roots cooler. If you haven't mulched, it's worth doing. Right, let's wrap this up with a summary of the key points. Today, Sunday, the 18th of January, Eastern Australia is under the influence of a significant low-pressure system. Sydney and New South Wales, heavy rain, strong winds, thunderstorms. Expect 50 to 100 millimetres of rain, possibly more in isolated areas. Temperatures 19 to 22 degrees. It's a day to stay indoors if you can. Brisbane and southeast Queensland, scattered showers and thunderstorms. You are finally getting the rain you've been waiting for. Temperatures 22 to 30 degrees, high humidity. The storms ease off overnight into Monday. Melbourne, beautiful weather, 16 to 28 degrees, mix of sun and clouds. Get outside and enjoy it because next week brings a heat wave. Adelaide, scorching heat, 32 to 37 degrees, catastrophic fire danger, no fires of any kind. Stay cool, stay hydrated, stay safe. The cool change arrives Monday. Perth, perfect conditions, 25 degrees, sunny, beautiful, enjoy it. Tasmania, pleasant day, 10 to 20 degrees, mix of sun and clouds. Monday the 19th, the rain eases across New South Wales and Queensland. Sydney stays cloudy with scattered showers. Brisbane improves through the day. Melbourne warms up to 30 to 32 degrees, the start of a heat wave. Adelaide gets a cool change, dropping back to 25 to 26 degrees. Perth stays sunny. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, Melbourne S heat wave intensifies. Tuesday through Friday, 35 degrees plus. That S, significant heat. Take it seriously. Sydney and Brisbane dry out and warm up. Adelaide stays moderate after Monday's cool change. Perth continues sunny and stable. Fire danger is the critical issue today for South Australia. Catastrophic conditions. Do not light fires. Have a plan if you in a bushfire-prone area. The safest option is to leave early. For those in the storm zones across New South Wales and Queensland, flash flooding is possible. Do not drive through floodwater. Secure loose items. Check your gutters are clear. If you lose power, you know the drill. Fill the bathtub. Have torches ready. Charge your phones. The weather across Australia over the next few days is dynamic. Significant differences from state to state. Check the Bureau of Meteorology for updates specific to your area. The situation can change quickly, especially with these storm systems. Stay safe. Look after your mates. Check on elderly neighbours, especially in the heat. And if you're in the path of severe weather, take it seriously. You've all seen what extreme weather can do. Be prepared, but don't panic. That's the forecast for Sunday the 18th and Monday the 19th of January 2026. Eastern Australia, keep dry and drive safe. Adelaide, stay cool and watch the fire danger. Everywhere else, get out there and enjoy what's looking like a decent